Leave it at that.
What did you think about the banter going back and forth between Mary and Kody?
It's very normal.
Okay.
This was the kind of thing that I would see that made me go, they have a possibility.
Look at that face. Robyn Brown looks so proud of herself when she talks about getting the luggage rack while the other wives didn't get one. In this video, we are going to talk about Season 19, Episode 28 of Sister Wives. It is Part 3 of the one-on-one talks. The first thing I want to say is that I didn't like this one-on-one talk as much as I liked the last one, which was Part 2. But there were still a few times where Kody and Robyn said and did some things that were kind of funny. I got a little bit mad at Mary in this one. But let's jump into what really happened. This one-on-one talk starts with them talking about Coyote Pass. Mary tells us what was happening when they were filming this. What's happening is they've paid off the land, but they're trying to figure out how to split it up. If you're watching this video, I'm sure you're a fan of Sister Wives, and you know that the land is split up in some crazy way, like it makes no sense at all how they split up Coyote Pass. It is clearly very unfair. So I'm not going to explain all that. You guys already know it. I do want to put this clip in of Mary talking about it. What is happening in this part is she is telling Sukanya about how she would get in trouble for asking questions about how they split up the land, even back when they were in Las Vegas, so right away when they were buying this land, she would ask questions about it. I want you guys to listen to what she says when Sukanya asks her about who had a problem with her asking questions. I found out that that's how the land was split up, and I asked a question and I got in trouble. And who was that you're talking about? It was Kody and Robyn. Did you hear that? She said Kody and Robyn, and she is talking about all the way back when they were in Las Vegas. You know, when the family started to fall apart, it felt like Mary was on Team Kody and Robyn. Actually, it didn't feel like it. She was. As someone watching, I thought it was weird. I think most of you agree. We could tell she was left out, but she still stuck up for Kody, and she stuck up for Robyn. But we have watched her change, and she has seen the truth. She knows now, even back in Las Vegas, they were looking out for themselves. I just didn't want to leave that moment out, even though it wasn't a big deal. Now, if I had to sum up the first 5 minutes of this one-on-one talk, it would be that Mary, Janelle, and Christine don't think Kody was fair with money, and they don't think that he will be fair with splitting up the land. They think he's selfish, and he looks out for himself. None of that part of the show was surprising to me, and probably not to any other people watching. I do want to put in a clip of Christine talking about Kody's spending. She says that Janelle saw what was being spent and who was doing it, but Janelle was pretty quiet about it, but sometimes she would say things weren't fair. And then Christine talks about things he bought. I'm like, why is that fair? And then Kody would just decide to buy tons of whatever things that he would call investments, and he would just go spend family money on that. She said he called them investments, and she used air quotes when she was talking about these things he bought. It makes me wonder if they knew the whole time that the stuff he was buying was just junk and it wasn't really helping the family, or if they found out after they were leaving him. As someone watching, I had no idea that Kody and Robyn bought artwork the way that they did. I didn't know after years of watching the show, I didn't know they were just filling their house up like that. I wonder if they knew he was doing it as much as he was. And I also like the dolls and the shopping. I wonder how much of that they started to figure out was going on after they left versus when they were with him. All I'm going to say is it would be impossible for me to stay married to someone if I knew they were spending the money that they were on artwork, dolls, junk, journals in their house. And then over in my house, I didn't know if I had money for my kids to have surgeries or have the things they need, or if I was even just struggling a little bit while they were spending money like that. I don't actually know that Christine was talking about the dolls, artwork, and junk journals. I have no idea. It's just a guess, but I could definitely see Kody saying that the dolls are something to make money on. This collection of dolls will be worth something one day. I could see him doing that. Now let's talk for a minute about Kody. There was a part that stood out to me. It was when Sukanya was asking Kody about why there was so much not trusting each other when it came to money. And I want you guys to listen to what he said. Janelle and Mary are both leaving me going, wish I had some way to get alimony. It's like, well, what are you going to come after me for money later? Mary grew up in a polygamous family. Janelle knew about it. She married into Mary's family first. They were both familiar with polygamy. They did not think they were getting alimony. They knew they were not going to get that. I cannot remember a single time that alimony has been brought up by any of these women on the show. I think Kody just made that up. But if you guys can think of a time they have talked about alimony, you guys please let me know down in the comments. I just think they know. They know polygamy and they know they weren't getting anything from him. What's really funny about this is that everyone's asking how he handled money in the past because of how he is handling money right now. If he had sold Coyote Pass and fairly split up the money from that sale, we wouldn't be talking about this. But what's making the whole talk happen is whether or not he's going to be fair with the money from Coyote Pass. And then we're looking further back and we're talking about the things he would buy and the way money was spent. He brought this on himself. He should have split that land up, made sure a sale went through. He was the one who was supposed to be handling it. If he had done it and done it fairly, we wouldn't be talking about their money anymore. So when they're talking, Kody acts like all of this not trusting is happening because they're leaving and they're wanting things now and how it's not fair. But then we get Mary and she tells this story that really surprised me. I would love to know more details about this. I don't know that we'll ever know what really happened. I kept thinking, was this something that happened on the show, and I don't remember. And if you guys remember and you can think of this, let me know what season it was because I don't remember ever hearing about this before, but I might have just forgotten it. Here's the clip of Mary talking about how she met with her accountant. Kody and Robyn had a talk with Kody and Robyn and my accountant showing them, this is how I've helped with money. So to me this is already weird. Why is it Mary with Kody and Robyn? Why aren't they all involved if this? She goes on to say this was years ago. Why wasn't this a whole family talk? Like what was going on where they were focusing in on Mary and her money? You know, because this was years ago. And after that, he was like, oh, okay. Because I think that he thought that I was keeping money from him or from the family. If that story is true, then the whole problem of not trusting isn't something that's just with Janelle, Mary, and Christine. It also involved Kody and Robyn thinking they weren't getting enough money from the wives who worked. I would just love to have more of that backstory. I have a feeling, though, it's not going to show Kody and Robyn in a good way. When Kody was talking about money, of course, he didn't take any blame. He didn't say that he may have been spending too much money. None of that. He put all of that blame over to Janelle. Honestly, that didn't surprise me at all. What did disappoint me was hearing Mary say that she didn't know who to trust, and she said that Janelle was saying she wasn't the one handling the money, and now she can't trust. She's not sure she can trust Janelle, and then she doesn't trust Kody and Robyn anymore. That disappointed me because when I listen to Janelle talk about the money, what I hear is that she did the bookkeeping but Kody still had control over it. I've never heard Janelle say, I wasn't involved. She just says she wasn't the one who really controlled the spending. That's what I understand. But Mary's taking it. It sounds like she's taking it as if Janelle is saying she had nothing to do with it. Now she doesn't trust Janelle. Honestly, I had never thought these two would be great friends, but I did hope that they could at least be on the same side when it came to dealing with Coyote Pass money or Kody, but it looks like that's just not going to happen. And it's not just Mary who's not sure of things. We also have Kody who's 100% willing to put the blame on Janelle. He says that when she gave the money stuff over to him, it was all a mess. Now Janelle has a bit of a theory as to why Kody is doing this. I'm going to put the clip in here. It's interesting, and I've started to see that Kody likes to. He's attacked all of his wives that are leaving in the area that hurts them the most, or that they are proud of, or that they care about. Right. Janelle goes on to say that Kody is attacking her when it comes to the money, and that he did the same thing to Christine when it came to being attracted to her and showing love. Kody just goes after what people care about the most. And when they talk, when Sukanya talks to Christine about this, Christine agrees. Kody finds your weakness, and then he'll hit there. After this, the show moves over to Sukanya, and Christine talking about being close. Christine says there was no feeling there when she was with Kody. It was just an act. And it's rare that Kody doesn't find a way to say something awful, but I felt like he actually held it together during this part of the show. He didn't say anything too bad. He did say Christine was a good time experience, and I felt like he shouldn't have said that, but otherwise, I felt like he was okay. I felt like they were trying to say the same thing. It wasn't a lasting good relationship. Again, he usually says something really, really terrible. I felt like he wasn't too bad there. I don't have a lot to say about their closeness talks. Kody does say at one point that he is impressed by Christine's ability to make things happen because she does seem to have the relationship that she always wanted. And I hope that's true. I hope she did make it really happen and she's living the life that she wanted to live. With that all being said, there is one part of this I do want to point out. It was a moment with Sukanya. I thought it was really funny. If Kody had said this about Robyn, I would be giving him a hard time, so I can't let this slide when it comes to Sukanya and Christine either. Here's a clip of them talking about David. David, you got the magic sauce. I know. He is the magic sauce. He is. I wish every woman would feel like this. I just couldn't leave out a part of this where Sukanya says, David, you got the magic sauce. There was no way I was making this video without that part. I do think it's been a lot more fun since we're seeing more of Sukanya's personality and she's being more firm when she needs to be. Feel like she has done much better. Even if some of these one-on-one talks have been a bit boring, I don't think it was because of her. Okay, I said I wasn't going to say anything about the closeness PDA part of the show, but there is a part of this that I do want to talk about. It's less about closeness and the PDA rule that the family had, and more about Robyn. Sukanya is talking to Robyn about that rule that there would be no PDA, and Robyn's talking about how the rule already existed before she came into the family. So here's the clip I want you guys to see. You didn't have a voice or say in the family? No, I was told I didn't have a say. I was told that. I want to stop it right here because I already feel like this is not true. We have heard over and over again how much the family changed when Robyn came into the family. The way they lived, their family meals, the holidays, the kids, everything changed when she joined the family. She may have felt like she needed to fit in some areas, but I don't believe for a second she was told that she had to, because we know that's not what happened. I needed to fit into what they were doing, because I was trying really hard not to, rock the boat too. But the biggest area that I think Robyn sort of needed to stay out of was raising the teenagers. She came into the family when some of those kids were already in the teen years, and it was a little bit too late to step in as a parent. And I think there were times we saw her putting her thoughts into what they were doing and how they were being raised when maybe she shouldn't have. And I know in the end, it was up to the real mother to decide what happened. But I always think back to the episode where the kids wanted to join a youth group at another church, and it became this huge thing with Maddie. And this was just a time where I was like, I feel like Robyn has come into the family too late to be involved in this talk. She doesn't know what all the years were like before she came into the family and how they feel about their own faith. I think that was an area she needed to stay out of, and maybe she was told, hey, you can't come in and parent them. But I still think, in all the other ways, they tried to change things for Robyn. Can you share who told you that? Not, I just rather not point fingers. Robyn could have said, I felt like I had to fit in. I felt like I didn't have control. Something like that would have led to Sukanya asking for examples, but she said someone told her she had to fit in. That means we're going to ask, because people watching are going to want to know who said that, who was it? And then when she doesn't want to give an answer, it almost makes it feel like it's not true. It makes it seem like this might be a lie. This is something we see with Kody in this one-on-one talk as well. He shares a story but won't give any details. Won't tell what happened. It's just so horrible. He can never tell us about it. Really, it makes it feel like it wasn't true. It makes it feel like you are telling us a lie or you're telling us part of the truth. And when we find out who was involved and ask them and hear the whole truth, it's not going to be very good for you. After this, there is a really crazy moment with Kody where he talks about how one time he was thrown out of the family for being loving with Robyn. Last time Robyn and I showed PDA with the family, we got kicked out. You got kicked out? See that face that Sukanya is making? I have a feeling most of us were at home making that face. And you know what? He was only one sentence into this story and it already sounds like a lie. I'm not going there. Yeah, they were bad with us. And, boy, it cost me a lot. Of course he's not going to go there because if he went there, then we would know it was a lie, or we would see that he was really the problem, or Robyn was the problem, but he's not going to go there and talk about it. I have heard a theory. I actually didn't hear the theory, I read it online. Someone had made a post about how it was possible that the situation he is talking about here was actually about Garrison's funeral. You know, there was a lot of gossip that there was a falling out after something that happened at one of the services. I do think it's a pretty good theory. We know something went down at the funeral. We just don't know what. There were rumors for a while that they were talking about his house and money and that it was like wrong conversations for the setting and what was going on. And then everyone was angry, but maybe it was something about them being really loving. I mean, you never know with these two what they're up to. Explain. I don't even know what you're talking about. It's a story that just cannot be told. Oh, I wanted to add a little bit more from that part because he's saying he can't tell it. And then he goes on to say, it's very, very bad. So he can't tell the story because it's that big of a deal. But at the beginning of the one-on-one talks, and I don't know if it was during this one or just the first one, I didn't pay attention, but it says they agreed that they were not going to talk about Garrison dying during the one-on-one talks. So it makes me wonder if it was something that involving that time period, one of his services, and then there Kody's like, I'm not talking about it because he knows he's not supposed to. Forget trying to figure out what the story is about, though. I want to talk about the fact that Kody brings things up and then we'll shut the talk down. He does this a lot, and at first I just thought it was annoying and it was something where he was being controlling, and I still kind of think that. But I also think he likes to look like the good guy. The problem is, no one is falling for it. You know, he'll tell this story and it makes it sound like him and Robyn are the victims. Like we were just being loving with one another and then we were thrown out of the family by the awful mean bad guys. And I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I'm not going to bring it up, though. I'm not going to do that. You know, Robyn said in this video, I'm not going to point fingers because then it makes them look like they're the good person. They're not going to put other people down. They're going to move on from things. But it's not working. It's just not. We're not falling for it. He shouldn't have brought any of the story up. Don't bring it up if you don't want to talk about it. But acting like you're protecting people or you were so hurt that you can't talk about it anymore doesn't make us think you're the good guy. I don't know if I explained that well. If you understood what I was trying to say, let me know down in the comments. If it didn't make any sense at all, let's just pretend that didn't happen. If I had to sum it up a little bit shorter, these two could be quiet and never talk about anyone else forever. That's not going to make us forget all the things they have done before. They've done enough damage. Okay, you guys, I was going to move on, but I have one more thing I want to add. It's actually a part of the show. I thought was kind of funny. It's just one line from Kody. He's talking about this whole story that he doesn't want to tell us about. And I just want to add, if for you guys that are new here, I have this theory that Kody sometimes practices things in front of a mirror before he is filmed, because I do think this man is a performer. He likes attention. He can be dramatic. So here is one of Kody's dramatic moments. Is it reset or is it? Let's just not talk about it. Okay. Oh, that face Sukanya is making right there is the face we were making again. A little bit of an eye squint. Like, what is wrong with you, dude? What are you talking about? Let's just not talk about it. So dramatic, Kody. So dramatic. So Kody goes from not telling the story that he brought up to talking about true love and how he cannot show any sort of love to Robyn until Janelle and Mary are married. He can't publicly do it. He cannot be loving in front of others. They have to do it privately to be safe. I'm so sick of the word safe, but he throws the word safe in here. And then he says this, when true love is shown, it calls down anger. Who talks? Like this? Who talks about their relationship like this? It's crazy. It's like he's living in some sort of fantasy world. And it's like the world hates true love so much. You know you are really trying to get out of taking blame when you blame the whole world. The world hates true love. That's why this has went so badly.